Hello writers, come write with me. My name is Mykela Greenwood. I create worlds for mind adventures. Welcome to my YouTube channel, Write with Mykela. Don't forget to like and subscribe and hit the bell so you can go on this journey with me. Today we are going to talk about idioms. An idiom is a group of words established by usage as having a meaning not deducible from individual words. Okay, don't scream at me or pull out your hair. I'll explain. Okay, let's take the phrase, the Big Apple. When we say that, we are not talking about a giant apple. We are talking about New York City. How about man's best friend? Well, we are not talking about Joe down the street. We're talking about a dog. Before we go too far with this, I want to remind you that about the term setting. Okay? Setting is the location and time frame in which an action of a narrative or story takes place. Remember, I told you about a guy smoking a cigarette in one of my stories, and I had to remove that detail because it didn't work in my time frame. Well, idioms are like that as well. You can't have a character say he's in a pickle if your time frame and your story, there's no vinegar, there's no pickling of any kind. Now, if your story is in today's time, then by all means use it. And if one of your other characters or your readers don't know what it means, he or she can go to the store, purchase a jar of pickles, open it, smell it, and then know that that's not some place they want to be stuck in the middle of. Or, even if they didn't realize that it means to be stuck in a difficult situation, they can know that they didn't want to be there. I mention idioms today because a lot of times we use idioms without realizing that we used one. They're a part of everyday speech. We don't stop and think that the actual meaning is not deducible or possible to discover by the words we use. I mean, in a nutshell, we are clear as mud. Do you get the picture? If English is your second language, then the last two sentences probably didn't make any sense to you, because when you translate literally, the combination of words just doesn't make sense. Now, if you speak idioms, English, if you speak English, there are idioms in other languages that we don't have in ours. And if we translate them to English, we would be scratching our heads because it would be difficult to put our finger on the meaning. An example is Unter vier Augen, which is a German phrase that literally translates to under four eyes. And in English, we describe people who wear glasses as having four eyes. So our understanding is totally off. In German, it means face-to-face and private. So if a conversation was under four eyes, that would mean it was private and only two people would know the contents of that conversation. It has nothing to do with wearing glasses. Now, I'm sure we feel our stories are hot off the press and we aren't telling a fishtail. Whoa, right? It's a little too much to have so many idioms just thrown at you at once. The same is true with slang, if not more so. Slang is typically restricted to a particular context or group of people, or perhaps people from a certain region. As creative writers, then when we write a story, we want people to enjoy what we write. We want our readers to enjoy it. Idioms and slang can make it difficult to follow a story. If your reader's not from your region and you're using slang from your region, they're not going to get it. Again, as I said many times before, just write during the creative part of your story. But when you edit, you may want to clear things up, especially if the idiom does not fit the time period of your story. Or you may want to alter the idiom to fit your story. So maybe you could write that do you get the painting instead of do you get the picture? That kind of thing. So you can alter it to your time frame. If your time frame has no cameras and no photographs, then of course they may have paintings, but they may not. They may, well, I guess you could have cave paintings or something way back then, but it's quite different from the elaborate paintings they had when, you know, they have golf and stuff like that with all the colorful scenes. So, when you're writing, that in no way says that you can't create a new idiom in your story. Stories create or alter idioms all the time. In The Little Mermaid from Disney, Scuttle the seagull says, he got people bumps, instead of saying he got goosebumps, which is double funny because as people, we don't actually get goosebumps. We get people bumps. Of course, geese have pimply or bumply skin under their feathers, but so do chickens. So why not say we have chicken bumps? Especially when someone is a chicken, we mean they're scared. And you get goosebumps when you are cold, afraid, or excited. But Scuttle didn't say goosebumps. He said people bumps. And the people watching the movie understood. And it was funny. So you can see if you have a funny bone, or you can tickle someone's funny bone with your writing and the idioms you create. Just be aware of your setting. And don't get in a catch-22 if your story is before 1961, where Joseph Heller first coined the term in his book. You also don't want to push your luck if your story is before the invention of dice, because this phrase is thought to come from a dice game. In my series, The King's Daughter, I changed this phrase to pushing mortality instead of pushing luck. There are thousands of idioms in English. There are enough idioms to fill our stories to the brim with them, but we may not want to do that. Leave a comment below on one of your favorite idioms or one you use or hear a lot. I don't want you to be on pins and needles, so I will tell you that there is no tall order today for a tall story. In plain English, or to clear things up, I have no writing exercise for you today, but I encourage you to look up some idioms and see if you can guess or already know the meanings. In other words, I want you to test the waters. Idioms can be fun. I'm sure you realize that I was having fun today. I hope you also realized that I wasn't precise or clear in what I was saying when I used an idiom. I actually hoped you would realize each time I used an idiom. Like I said, there are thousands of these in English. I have a book with 1,300, but several that I used in today's videos weren't in the book. Maybe today's video will help you see more idioms in your life. So remember, an idiom is a group of words established by usage as having a meaning not deducible from the individual words. I hope that definition makes more sense now also. So today I gave you one little bitty term, but a lot to think about. Don't worry if you didn't get all the idioms or didn't understand them. Just think of your readers when you decide to leave an idiom or slang in your story. I want you as a writer to be aware of these things. When you're writing and being creative, I don't want thoughts of this to bog you down. You can edit these out. Or a reader can help you when he says, what do you mean here? So let me just kind of clear things up a little bit. I will give you the list of the idioms that I used today. Number 1, the Big Apple. Number 2, man's best friend. Number 3, in a pickle. Number 4, in a nutshell. Number 5, clear as mud. Number 6, get the picture? Number 7, scratching your head. Number 8, put your finger on. Number 9, Unter vier Augen, which was our German one. 10, hot off the press. 11, telling a fish tale. 12, get goosebumps. 13, have a funny bone or tickle someone's funny bone. 14, catch 22. 15, push your luck. 16, fill to the brim. 17, be on pens and needles. Now 18, tall order. 19, tall story. And 20, test the waters. So it's just a little tiny sample of what you could have. If there's thousands out there and I just gave you 20, but think if some of those things I said, it wasn't very clear. If you don't, especially if you don't speak English as a native language, you might have been going, what is she trying to say to me today? I don't understand this video. But they're idioms, and you use them, whether you know that you do or you don't know that you do. You use them, and people around you use them. And when you grow up with them, you know, that they seem normal to you. And we don't want our readers to feel put off or to feel like they don't understand or they don't get it. That's why when you alter the idiom to fit your story, you know, then people can understand it a little more. And they can pick up on it, even if they didn't know the idiom to begin with. Join me Friday for our chapter 12, City of the Ancients, and join me next Tuesday for our next writing prompt. Like and subscribe and hit the bell to get notifications so we can continue writing together. Thank you for joining me today. I appreciate your participation. If you know someone who would like this video, then please share it with them. If you write your own idiom to fit your story, then leave it in the comments and send your PDF or Word document to WritewithMykela@gmail.com. Also, visit my website in between days of videos. My website is www.bymykela.com. This is Mykela with Write with Mykela. Bye for now.